Hi, my name's John. Welcome to another Sunday night nightcap. In tonight's nightcap, I've got one or two car boot settings to show you. I'll finish off the machining of the magnetic chuck for my lathe and my milling machine. I'll include that. I went down to see a friend, Stan, the lad who's doing the polo shirts for us. When I was down there, he had a nice selection of books he'd bought for us at a car boot sale. I'll show some of them. The reason I went down, he was busy he's actually started doing the embroidery work on the polo shirts. I have got some finished, and I did a bit of video of the embroidery machine working, which is, it's interesting. It's a CNC type machine. I found it actually fascinating the way it worked. It takes roughly half an hour to embroider one of these polo shirts. It's running at something like 800 stitches a minute, and there's actually 22,000 stitches in that piece of embroidery work. This is the package that turned up at work this week. It's actually come from Ireland. Hi John, I'm really enjoying the videos, brilliant work. Particularly impressed with the making and using of the bearing on a stick. That's the tool for pushing things straight in the lathe, or you can use it as an edge finder. My first job in 1973 was with Hawker Siddeley Aviation in Manchester as a programmer. I still can't resist a skip or a scrap bin. One thing I used to throw out was bearings. I went to my bearing store, and after 40 years they were still there, so I pulled out a couple to make a round and a square bearing on a stick. I'll never use the rest of them, so I'm sending them to you to redistribute as you see fit. Maybe when you get around to selling your polo shirts, you could add one in with a shirt. That's a good idea. Right, we'll have a look. Actually working at work. There's a large amount of bearings, which are ideal to make edge finders, bearings on sticks. So if anybody wants to buy a polo shirt and they want a bearing and make a bearing on a stick, just say it and I'll put a bearing in. There must be 20 or 30 there, so the first batch of shirts you'll get a free bearing. Anyway, that was from Will Davis. Okay, so it's time to drill our 4 holes. I've got this adapter I made to hold my collar chuck on actually, but it's the same thread. It's a box fat nose thread, so that'll screw onto there quite nicely. Just give it a tap and nip it on. Mounted the chuck on down into a couple of parallels. I mean, you could put this in a rotary table, and once you line one hole up you could just turn it round and do each one in turn, but I'm sure I've used quite a few times. This is actually a Starrett one I got given. You can buy them cheap enough, but this is a particularly nice one. And you tighten the nut so there's a little bit of friction on it. Start the machine up. Turn the machine on, then start the machine up. Right, don't try and line it up with your fingers like that, because that point will stick in you and it hurts. Some of the metal. You can get it so it's not moving, it's actually standing still there. The way I do it, I line one axis up at a time, axis up at a time, stretch it down, it's nearly touching. 2 pair of glasses helps as well. Right, so you can line it up. You'll see what I'm seeing there, and that's absolutely spot on that punch mark. Now we'll do your axis. Better, but you can see that's absolutely spot on that punch mark. Okay, we're using 3/8 bolts, so I've gone for a 30 seconds drill, which is one size up. Just give us a bit of clearance, so I'll go through with a 1/4 first. Horrible stuff, cast iron dust. I'll use a knee to feed this in, and there's no chance of it grabbing. I'm cutting it dry because cast iron is self-lubricating to a certain degree. Also, if you put cutting oil on, you end up with a horrible grinding paste. Where this way it's dry and you can hoover it off the machine. Right, at the moment of truth, I stamped an E on there, and I stamped an E on there, so they line up. That's the worst hole there, actually broken one of the old holes, but it's still got 3 good ones. 1, 2, 4 bullets. These need shortening. Let's measure what depth we've got. 101 inch 50 thou, so we'll make them bullets an inch long from the shoulder. It'll be ideal. Looks like it's running nice and true. I mean, obviously you cannot clamp something on there and start taking heavy cuts off it. If a very light cuts on a milling machine or the dividing head, I'm sure it'll work fine. I'll put a clock gauge on, see how true I've got it running. To all intents and purposes, that's nothing. That's just springing on the centres where the magnets go. These are the book stand bolters from the car boot sale. Jig and tool design. They're quite old books, but it's all still relevant. Another one there. Micrometers, slide gauges and calipers. Price there, 2 shilling and 6pence. That must be an old book. I'll have a look so I can find there's a date there, 1945. 1945. Some excellent old drawings and pictures in. Another one there. Gauges and gauging. 2 shilling, or 2 and 6. Date in there, 1944. Another book, Centre Lathe Practice Part 1. All this information, it's all still relevant. It's exactly the same. Nothing's changed. Electric arc welding. I must admit I do like stick welding. Another one there, workshop technology for technicians. A lot of theory. working methods. Some interesting books. Be some good reading in there. Anyway, Stan, thanks very much once again. They're going to be collection. I've got quite a collection of old books now. Okay, the polo shirts. I'm only doing one colour to start out with. That'll be black. Black with that emblem on, which is a Trusted Engineering double boost in the Lebond centre lathe. The polo shirts are £15 each. Delivery anywhere in the world is £8. Anywhere UK mainland is £3.25. If you like one, email us with some contact details, what size you want, and pay us by PayPal. PayPal is the easiest and safest way to do it. You're guaranteed to get your item, I'm guaranteed to get your money. And any foreign currency, like dollars, are automatically transferred into pounds sterling in my PayPal account. I hope that makes sense. I'll put my email address 1 or 2 times at the end of the video. Thanks once again for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you want a polo shirt, if I order this week, I'll get them in the post within a week. So you should get them fairly soon. Anyway, thanks once again for watching. Who's a twastad?
John's a twastad.